heard about baking soda, or also known as sodium bicarbonate? Yes, the white powder that you put in the back of the fridge to control the odors in your fridge, or in baking and cooking. Yes, that white powder. Well, there's been a lot of individuals, my subscribers, asking me, Maria, I've heard that it's amazing for taking internally to make your body more alkaline, amazing on the skin. What do you think? Well, today I am going to go into step by step and explaining the pros and the cons of this white powder. So let's get started right now. So very quickly, my name is Maria from Vancouver, Canada. Welcome. For my subscribers that have been here since the beginning, thank you so much. You are so important to me. I do reply to everyone, so especially the new people that are here. If you like my subject or my content, I would really appreciate thumbs up and also subscribe. It's up to you. I really enjoy doing these tutorials, and most of my topics are from my subscribers asking me, what do you think? So a lot of times I know the information, a lot of times I do extra research for you. So if you love my content, stay until the end. So one of the biggest thing is acid reflux, and a lot of people might get that because of eating wrong foods or stress. So they go and grab Alka-Seltzer, Rolaids, Tums, and that will cause a benefit, but it is a temporary thing because you are neutralizing the acid in your stomach. But there is a reason why the stomach is acid. I have a lot of pictures and a lot of charts today to explain. The body has different level of acidity throughout the body. And there is a major reason why the stomach is acidic. If you are unbalancing the acidity in the stomach, you are going to cause major problems. Many diagrams, and I will put them up for you so you can look at them. You can stop the video so you can write down the information. Now, if you have acidity, as I mentioned, yes, you can go get some baking soda, mix it in water and drink it down, or run and get yourself an Alka-Seltzer. But to do it as a habit is not good because the stomach has to stay acidic and has many purposes for that. So in the mouth, you will notice here that the pH is 6.78, but then in the stomach, it goes down to 1.5 to 2. And the reason why is because in the stomach, the food gets sterilized. That's number one. Breaks down the protein, but the main one, it stimulates the delivery of the bile. The bile is released right after the stomach here, and then you notice the purpose of the bile is to bring back the alkalinity of the food. So we have to leave the stomach acidic. If we take Alka-Seltzer or baking soda continuously, we are going to have some problems if we don't keep the stomach acidic. And I know that you've heard that if your body is acidic, you might get cancer or immune disorders, and that is true. But we need to control that through diet, drinking water, and all that. And we'll talk about it in a little bit more later on. But the benefits, and I'm going to show you here, of having the acidity in your stomach is very important. But if the acidity is elevated and becoming more alkaline, some of the problems are as bloating, belching, flatulence, indigestion, diarrhea, constipation, autoimmunity, rectal itchiness, candida albicans, all these things, because we are wanting to reduce the acidity in the stomach. So the hydrochloric acid in the stomach has to stay acidic. So do I agree of taking baking soda regularly? No, I don't. And I'm going to look at here some of the things that a lot of individuals have mentioned also on YouTube, that you should, if you take baking soda regularly, you will, your kidneys will benefit. It will release arthritis, pain, better with exercising, because while exercising you are producing lactic acid, so by taking baking soda you will neutralize that. Fights cancer. Well, we know that when you have acidity in the body, you may get cancer, but not necessarily, and you can regulate, and I'll give you some foods, the acidity in the body by eating proper foods. And also UTI, like urinary tract infections, you can prevent that by drinking baking soda. Other things you can take for that: cranberry juice, amazing for that. So, and in eating good foods that helps the body, and I have a list here, to improve your acid and to balance your acid without taking Alka-Seltzer, Tums, and all those, or even baking soda. So here are some of an outline, and I'm going to post it up for you so you can look at it. So you use liquid nutrition. So starting from number 1, that means taking in foods such as greens and kelp, so you can blend that. Ginger throughout the day, so ginger tea. Super hydrate outside, so drink lots of water throughout the day. Do not drink water during meals. That's also very important. Drink water with apple cider vinegar or lemon throughout the day. Eat protein foods at the beginning of each meal. Eat fermented foods such as kimchi, kombucha. That is a fermented drink. And eat your largest meal when you are relaxed. These steps will help you not to get acid reflux. I have a chart here that I would like to show you, is what are the effects of acidic foods onto the body. And so if you quickly can read it over here, or you can stop the video. Now, we need to intake more alkaline foods, and some of the alkaline foods are like spinach, broccoli, anything that is green, also like carrots and collard greens, strawberries. Those are all alkaline foods. And also to intake a neutral food such as beans and coconuts, salmon, bananas and apple. Like that's so many variety. Foods that are acidic. Now, foods that are acidic that you should stay away are such as processed foods, coffee, white flour like cookies and cakes and chips. Minimize the amount of meat. Cream cheese, all the dairy. Now, you know, if you follow me, I don't agree with dairy, but let's agree to disagree. And the thing is, I do enjoy some nice cheeses, such as Asiago, like the Italian cheeses, or very good Parmigiano. So good cheeses I really enjoy. But as a habit, I try to stay away like dairy, milk. I will try to drink maybe coconut milk. I will put almond milk in my coffee and so on. Stay away from pop, sugary, fruity drinks, and a lot of alcohol also is not good. Now, a good glass of wine, that is good for you. I have another chart here. I do love it because it really, when you see something, you remember. Not you, me too. And so this is about the blood pH. The blood is around 7.35 to 7.4.5. And if we're on this side, we have acidosis. And if you have over here, alkalosis. That this means over acidity and too much alkalinity. And all this, and if you're over here and in here, you're dead. All this is controlled by what you eat. I am not saying that you should stay away from everything and the only thing you're going to take is drinking water and eating green stuff. No, you have to have a balance because you have to be happy too. So if you want to drink once in a while or eating chips and salsa and have a pop once in a while, it's not going to kill you. It is when it is done day after day after day. The body it's an amazing system and it will heal itself up. But it will come to a point that you're taxing every single organ from the liver and the kidneys and everything, that the body will start to break down. And you will get things like being tired, bloatedness, acid reflux, arthritis, autoimmune diseases, and other situations. So yes, drink your water, eat, be more mindful of what you're putting into your body. And that brings me to taking in things like kombucha, the fermented foods that are so good for you, good probiotics, NRF2. And if you want more information, I have information below on things that you can take, supplements that you can take that you will see results. Cap very quickly. Should we take baking soda to control cancer, kidney disorders, urinary infection, arthritis, all those things? Absolutely not. You control that by eating properly, by drinking your water, by eating alkaline foods, by taking probiotics, by eating fermented foods and your NRF2. So then your blood is at a right pH and you're going to be a very healthy, happy individual. So is it good for something? Absolutely. It has benefits. So the first one is to use it as a mouthwash. Just get a glass of warm water or room temperature, a tablespoon of baking soda, mix it, and then you can gargle or mouthwash. The baking soda has an antibacterial effect, so it's very good. On the other hand, to use it daily to brush your teeth, no, because it will thin out, the crystals will thin out your tooth enamel. If you have some stains, yeah, you can use it maybe once a month or mostly twice a month. If you have a canker sore, I just make it a paste with water and baking soda and put it onto the canker sore every day. Leave it on for about an hour and you will notice, because a canker sore is usually acidic, very acidic, and the baking soda is alkaline, so it will heal that area quite quickly. Baking soda is an antibacterial, and it is amazing on acneic skin or also comedogenic. The pH of baking soda is around 9 and acneic skin is around 3. So here is the chart so we can see it is right here. So what we do is we take a basin of warm water, warm to hot, put a couple tablespoons of baking soda, and then you get a face cloth and you apply it onto the face and leave it there until it cools down, and then you repeat that process 3 or 4 times. What's going to happen is the blood from internally comes very close to the surface of the skin, healing the skin from within, and the baking soda, on the other hand, it's a balancing and healing from the outside. Also very good for the comedogenic. The alkalinity of the baking soda softens the blackheads, so it's very easy to extract the blackhead. Doing this process also, you will notice is that the pores will start to tighten and shrink. Now remember, the pores do not open or close. It will just tighten up because we are softening these comedones, and a lot of these comedones will minimize. Another benefit of baking soda is as an exfoliant, but be very careful, don't do it on active papules and pustules because you're going to irritate and cause more problems. How do you do it? And you make it like a paste of baking soda and water, and you just actively rotate around the areas and put a little bit extra pressure in the area where you need more help. If you have sensitive cheeks, don't do it too hard, but on the T-zone, or if you have some dark areas on the neck, it actually lightens the skin. Now, if you have stains underneath your arms or bikini area, or if you have some scarring like a hyperpigmentation, you could use baking soda and lemon, but be very careful because it's very, very aggressive. So you mix 50-50 and you apply in the area, let's say underarms, or sometimes on the kneecaps, or hyperpigmentation. Leave it up to 2 minutes, not longer than that. And you could do this once or twice a week, and you will notice the skin starts to lighten up. After you use the lemon and baking soda, please rinse it very well after a couple of minutes, and do apply a moisturizer, because the combination of lemon and baking soda is actually quite aggressive. And don't do this more than twice a week, not more than twice a week. Now, I've heard a lot of people drinking it. I would not do it, because you're using something that's very acidic and something that's very alkaline and it's very explosive. And we're telling only a couple of minutes. Can you imagine if you have this in your stomach for all this time? I will not do it. Another thing that I would not use is baking soda with vinegar. Again, a lot of people will drink that. I use that to remove stains on my carpets. Soda is not only good for acneic and oily skin, it is also good for dry, calloused, a skin that needs a moisture. So we notice here is that right here, dry skin, the pH is quite high, and the baking soda is 9. So if you put some baking soda in your tub, like a half a cup in your water, it softens the water, and it also softens your skin and brings moisture to your actual skin. If you have a dry feet and callous feet, make a paste and scrub your toes and your heels. You have two heels, and then put your feet in warm water and soak for 10-15 minutes. After that, take your pumice stone, and you can remove all your calluses and have beautiful soft feet. We are done, finally. Thank you so much for being here until the end. If you have any ideas or topics that you would like me to create for you, write them down below. Again, this is Maria from Vancouver, Canada, and I'll talk with you very, very soon.